I mean, what are we afraid of? We listen to too much of the negative. And when you hear a constant flow of all of the bad news, plastic straws and stuff like that, and it seems like we as human beings like Armageddon stories. We like end of the world stories. It excites us. It gets us going, right? I mean, whether it's climate change going to end the world tomorrow, or whether it's Y2K, or whether it's the 1,000 other, there's a big resurrection now of overpopulation. Pearl Ehrlich is back. I mean, discredited as it's been, it's not, because we constantly, and it's easy to get sucked into those things. Yes, we dismiss some of them and we engage in others. What you should really be focused on is on your own life, on what you can do to control your future. The robots, for example, are indeed coming, and they're after your jobs. No, it's true. So do something about it. Retrain. Think about how you can focus on something that robot cannot do. Take control over your own life. Stand up to whatever challenges the future has, and make your life the best that it can be by using your reason, by using, most importantly, Ayn Rand's virtues, the ethics of objectivism. The ethics of objectivism prepares you for a future, prepares you to be successful. It is the ethics of success. It is the morality of achievement. So prepare yourself. Yeah, there's going to be lots of bad stuff happening. Tariffs might take away your job, or robots, or immigrants, or whatever. Have a plan. Wow, what a concept. Think about it. Make sure that what you're studying is something that's sustainable. That's something that won't be taken away. And if it is, be prepared to be flexible. This is not science fiction. This is how human beings, at least for the last 250 years, have lived. There's constant change, and you need to adapt to that change. So take your life seriously. Set ambitious goals. Go for it. And take the pride that objectivism teaches us. Take your morality seriously. Be ambitious morally. Seek perfection. Yeah, perfection. Not allowed to talk about that in the world today. Do the best that you can do. Live the best life that you can live. And acknowledge that so that you benefit. The rest of the world might not benefit from the achievements today. You should be benefiting from it. You should be happy. You should reward yourself for the achievements that you have earned, because you understand where those achievements come from and why you have earned them and why your life is the standard, not somebody else's, yours. So you are unencumbered by altruism. I mean, that's an exaggeration, because altruism is very difficult to get rid of. But if there's anything that you should focus on trying to rid your soul of, trying to rid your mind of, trying to rid every fiber in your body of, it is altruism. Your life does not belong to anybody else but you. Your happiness is your moral ideal. Sacrifice is self-sacrifice. Placing the well-being of others above yourself is evil. It's wrong. Get rid of it. Live for you. I mean, fully understand what that means. Don't be a jerk, right? And be happy as a consequence. And life can get rough. And when life gets rough, and again, the news and everything, think about heroes. I think Andy's going to be talking about heroes later in the week. But think about heroes and how inspiring they can be. And think big in terms of hero. I mean, you could start with Howard Roark and John Galt, right? And the challenges in the Fountainhead that Roark faces. And think about what that would mean if he was down on the world and down on life and down on everything, right? What would the quarry look like? Would he have turned down the building, the bank building? What would we have done? I mean, the book would be a completely different book. It would be not Ayn Rand. Because Ayn Rand is inherently about you have control over your future, and you could make it great, and you should be optimistic about that. You should be confident in your future. Or even John Galt, who you'd think is a pessimist, right? The world's gone to hell. No, he's got a solution. He's going to start a Galt's Gulch, and he's going to change the world. He doesn't just sit back and complain. He acts. He's got a plan. He does something to make his life and the people he loves life better. That should inspire. So literary heroes can be great inspirations, but more than that. It's important for us to hold an historical context and look for heroes in the real world. You know, when you see Antifa shut down a talk, think about Galileo and Newton having to confront religious authority. Not a bunch of kids who don't have a clue with their lives, just thugs who are, religious authority that could have them killed. Religious authority that didn't want to have anything to do with them. And yet, they persevered and brought us the scientific revolution. Or think of Voltaire and Locke, who brought us the ideas of the Enlightenment but had to escape because they were afraid for their lives because of their ideas. So a bunch of people are rioting outside Berkeley. It's bad, but again, the perspective here wasn't a bunch of kids. Here was the authorities. Here it was the king. It was the people in power after you. We're not there yet in America. We can still speak. We can still hold OCON. So let's put it all in perspective, right? Or think about J.D. Rockefeller bringing light to the world and cheap energy to the world. A kid who had nothing and started from nothing and built something amazing and changed the world in profound ways and had to fight everybody on the way, his competitors, but more importantly, the mudruckers and the politicians and everybody who wanted to destroy his business. And yet he succeeded and he persevered. And you might say, well, that was in the 19th century. Things were free then. Then, okay, think about Steve Jobs, right? Who in this century, or last century actually, got fired from the company he started that revolutionized computing. Fired from his own company. And then started some strange computer company. I don't know if you ever saw Next Computer. Pretty cool, but strange. And Pixar, just a little thing. Made some of the best movies of the last 30 years. And then came back to Apple. And changed the world again. Changed the world again. He believed in himself. He believed in his power. He believed in the power of his vision. And he made it a reality. Well, think about Jeff Bezos, right? Now, I remember the late 1990s. I don't know how many of you remember. There was this company selling books online. I was shorting the stock all day long. Give me a break. Books online? You're going to make money selling books online? And look where we are today. He's changed our lives. He's the richest man in the world. And think about what he wants to do with his money. This is so inspiring to me. He's not going to give it away like like Bill Gates. You know what he's going to do with his money? He's going to go to Mars. You laugh, but he's serious. He is serious. And think about that as a positive. Who 20 years ago among us would think that the privatization of space was something real that could happen? Yeah, it was a dream. It was something maybe one day when we took over the world would happen, but it's happening. Not completely, not fully, but here's Jeff Bezos putting his own capital, competing with others to see who gets to Mars first. That's cool. That is just cool. So, wow. And then just a few years ago, some kid, I think at one of these conferences, said, I want to build a supersonic jet and make it commercial, right? And it was an OCON, right? It's like, yeah, right. You're going to build a supersonic jet. I'm sure, I don't remember what I thought, but I'm sure that's what I thought. And he's doing it. Blake Charles is building a supersonic jet. It's called Boom. Look it up online. And it's going to be commercial. And I'm going to fly to Asia like that. And to Europe like that. It's going to benefit my life directly. He didn't say all the regulators and the philosophy departments and this. He went out and did it. He built it. He created it. Wow. Those are heroes. And those are role models. And those are people that should inspire you every single day and every single moment. Because in spite of all the bullshit, in spite of all the crap, in spite of all the ugliness and the bad stuff that happens out there, the world is yours. Go grab it. Thank you.
Can I ask you to capsulize your philosophy? What is Randism?
First of all, I do not call it Randism, and I don't like that name. I call it objectivism.
All right.
Meaning a philosophy based on objective reality. Now let me explain it as briefly as I can. First, my philosophy is based on the concept that reality exists as an objective absolute. That man's mind, reason, is his means of perceiving it. And that man needs a rational morality. I am primarily the creator of a new code of morality which has so far been believed impossible, namely a morality not based on faith.
On faith?
Not on faith, not on arbitrary whim, not on emotion, not on arbitrary edict, mystical or social, but on reason. A morality which can be proved by means of logic, which can be demonstrated to be true and necessary.
How does objectivism differ from the philosophies that many of us have been exposed to in our youths? Philosophies based upon religions, theologians, dogmatists.
The very first difference, objectivism tells you that it is not right, it is not proper to man to take anything on faith. Religion is a matter of faith. You accept a religion emotionally or because you were born to it. You have not chosen it rationally. What objectivism will tell you is that reason, man's reason is his basic means of survival. That is the most important faculty which he has, and he has to guide his life and make his choices by means of his rational faculty. He has to make his own choices, but he has to know how to make them. It is immoral for him to act on his emotions, to be guided by the whim of the moment. That objectivism holds as very wrong, very immoral. And morality, in fact, consists of following your reason to the best of your ability. So that rationality is the basic virtue from which all the others proceed.
My morality is based on man's life as a standard of value. And since man's mind is his basic means of survival, I hold that if man wants to live on earth and to live as a human being, he has to hold reason as an absolute, by which I mean that he has to hold reason as his only guide to action, and that he must live by the independent judgment of his own mind, that his highest moral purpose is the achievement of his own happiness, and that he must not force other people, nor accept their right to force him, that each man must live as an end in himself and follow his own rational self-interest.
Tell me the value of selfishness.
Use another word, self-esteem. The value of selfishness is that you esteem yourself as a value, that you live according to your nature, which means by the judgment of your own mind, and you respect your own mind, you respect your own ability to do the right thing, therefore you respect the possibility of being a morally virtuous person, and you regard yourself as a value worth preserving. To make a success of yourself in any line of rational activity is a great virtue. And people will attack you for exercising your ability, for hard work, for consistency, for ambition. And they will want to make you feel guilty of it. That is the greatest evil, according to my philosophy.
And wait, say that again. The greatest evil, according to your philosophy, is to attack an individual because of virtue.
what I call it is to experience or act on hatred of the good for being the good. That is attacking people for their virtues, for their achievements, for anything they have which is a value, actually, not for their flaws and not for their evil. In fact, people who preach that are the ones who are mawkish about the evil people, the failures, the liars, the cheats. Everybody who is weak suddenly acquires some kind of value. But anyone who is a success has to be attacked for his success.
And look at how you have been attacked.
Oh, I know.
How you have been criticized. There are
You
many,
know that?
There are many people in this country, forgive me, in this world who think you're daft.
They don't. They want you to think that.